Did he catch that? Drive, break, are you kidding me?
Ooh, big shot! Playing on his feet back there, keeps the play alive, and he's got it long. Fair catch by.
I'm doing enough for the team.
Firing end zone, bobbled and caught. Touchdown, Gavin Ross.
I am Jason Andera, and I am so ready for another football season, and I hope you are too. We're going to talk about the top teams and players across the 7 classes of high school football in South Dakota over the next 30 minutes. I'll give you the way that I voted in the media poll, and at the end of the show, I'll give you the statewide media rankings as well. We'll start with Class 11 AAA. Harrisburg isn't the biggest school in the state, but they may have the most football players. Over 150 Tigers are looking for a chance to repeat as state champs. I voted Brandon Valley as this season's top team. Despite returning just one starter on defense, I believe the Lynx have the tools to make it back to their 4th consecutive championship game.
Tons of confidence and tons of fun. It's a fun thing about graduating guys. You love them and miss them and wish them well, but you get opportunities open up for young guys.
Obviously not as many seniors as we've had in the past, so we've had a young defense, and I'm really excited to see how they play this year.
Lucas Slack returns for another year at quarterback. He feels much more in control of the offense, which returns 2 All-State linemen and a potent crop of skill players, including Nate Andreessen and Delvon Spears-Whitty.
I feel a lot more comfortable. I feel like I know what I'm doing. I know the offense a lot better, so I'm really excited for what the offense can do this year and the weapons we have.
Ready to hopefully prove the doubters wrong. We want to go to the state championship again. We're just ready to make a good run again.
Coming in at number 2 in my rankings, the Lincoln Patriots, who returned 8 starters on offense and 6 more on defense. They're a team that's made it to 2 straight semifinals and look to have the talent to do it again.
The message to the team is like, hey, you guys haven't done anything yet. And so if you want to be mentioned with the big boys in the state, you got to put it together years and years and years together. And so they're hungry, they're anxious to prove themselves. Let's just put it that way.
Lincoln has junior quarterback Tate Shaffer back to lead the way with a big-time list of seniors who are prepared to push further than before.
The returning team and the seniors there's a different breed of seniors. We've been putting a lot of hard work and a lot of intensity.
It's repetition for everything you do, and especially for football. So for everyone to be returning, it's just, we've already done it. We've already gone through the motions. Now it's just time to perfect those.
A whole bunch of sophomores stepping up now to be juniors, and that maturity increase just from that 1-year gap it's remarkable. Like from me and Sam, we were some guys that were sophomores that played and Elliot as well. We played and went from sophomore to junior year, and our leap from just talent, getting used to the speed and maturing and the playbook and trusting your guys and just all that stuff, we really just, you jump. It's a massive jump.
Harrisburg experienced a tragedy this offseason when graduated lineman Mason Jacobson was killed in an automobile accident that left the entire community and football team reeling.
What everything he was about, Mason was about, is these kids, a lot of these older kids experienced, that connection with him and relationship and just how he approached every day. There should be zero of taking things for granted. That was not Mason, and that's our message to them is, come with a smile. He loved practice. He loved being a Harrisburg Tiger.
Pushing on, and with the whole, the accident with Mason, we do it for him, It's just that's what it comes down to, and we just do what we've always done.
On the field, the Tigers moved to the state's largest class just a couple of years ago. Now they have a championship under their belt, and that gives them some confidence.
Of course, we want to follow it up with another one. So, we've been working hard to try to make it happen again, so it just gives us momentum and gives us something to push for again, because we know what it's like to win, so now we know what to do come season.
I mean, other teams around, they seem to have lower expectations for us. They're kind of sleeping on us, But, I think we can go out there, prove them wrong, show them what Harrisburg football is about.
Jefferson, 12 months ago, they hadn't even played a game in school history. Now they'll be considered a top team. Seniors Talon Ashley and Griffin Wilde are a big reason why the Cavs have such high expectations.
Now, last year relationships were important, but we had 60 days to build relationships and get ready for a season. Now we've had 12 months. We had them all football season last year. We saw the guys play basketball and wrestle. We saw them run track and play baseball. We had another off season with them. So just knowing them has been huge for us.
Everyone wants the big goal to be at the Dome, but we're not focused on that right now. We're just trying to go 1-0 each week. It's really tough, but we're trying to keep our guys locked in on just focusing on what we got this week. So focusing on practice and then getting ready for the game.
Definitely our O-line. Big, physical. Definitely been working their tails off in the weight room, and I believe they're going to be a lot stronger and really help us out this year. Our running back group is definitely better with Nelson Wright coming over, and him coming over has really pushed Gabo to be better, and that's going to help us out a lot.
O'Gorman, as usual, will be smaller up front than a lot of other AAA teams, but with Bennett Dannenbrink, Peyton Hagee, Maverick Jones, and Ryland Satter at the skill positions, the scoreboard operators better have quick fingers. The Knights made it all the way to the semifinals last year, and they'll have the same expectations this year. Don't sleep on Washington, Stevens, Roosevelt, or Rapid City Central. Check my complete previews and write-ups on those teams at midcosports.com. When we come back, we'll look at Class 11AA. Plus, stay with us for a look at the top players to watch in each class.
This high school preview show on Midco Sports is presented by Avera Orthopedics, Modern Woodman of America, Austin Van Hove, North Dakota State College of Science, Outlaw Tarp Repair, and Tammy Lap Harris with Integra Realty Group.
Welcome back to the 2022 South Dakota High School Football Preview Show. The Pierre Governors are trying to become the first team to win 6 straight championships since West Central pulled off that feat from 2000 to 2005.
Talk a lot about, hey, we got 5, now we're getting 6, or we had 4, we had to get 5 this year. It's always just about let's get 1. Let's get 1 and let's focus on this season because, it's fun for the program and it's fun for all the kids that were a part of the previous ones. But this year's team's just got to focus on this year's team, and that's the approach we've taken every season.
The most decorated player in the state, Lincoln Keenholds. He has a chance to win his 3rd state title as the starting quarterback for Pierre.
Obviously, we won 5 in a row just as a program, me being a part of 3, so capitalizing on that, coming into my 4th year to obviously win another state championship.
Jason Machaychuk has been an all-state performer at Douglas, but his family moved to Pierre, so he has a chance to play against a team that he's gone against for years.
Played against Coach Steele for 3 years now, and I know playing against him that his offensive scheme is very hard to play against. So I'm very excited to get in that scheme and just mess with people like they used to mess with us. So
last season for the Titans was bittersweet. They surprised many by making it all the way to the championship game, but in that game they had a commanding lead, but Pierre came back to win it. It's a new year for T. But that memory has helped motivate some of the Titan seniors.
Yeah, obviously some of the guys are kind of not too bad about what happened last year, so I'm sure it's all in everybody's head trying to get that state champ this year. So we'll keep pushing forward harder than ever.
The Titans have a new quarterback in Maddox Slykehouse and a new head coach with Scott Fry, but expectations remain the same.
It's not broke, we're not going to fix it. So no, there's not going to be a whole lot of changes.
It's been the same. We keep sticking to the same schedule. We got the new line coach. He's doing really good, teaching us a lot of new skills, but it's really good overall.
We talk about the Titan way all the time, and that's kind of what that is, yeah, we may lose some good players, but we've also got some good players coming up that people don't necessarily know about.
The rest of the class has their eye on breaking up Pierre's dynasty. Yankton seems the readiest to do just that with a very athletic group ready to take the field. Brookings continues to field contenders. They have Justin Kofel and Tyler Brandt back on offense with Jackson Eck lining up on defense as one of the top defenders in the state. Spearfish in my top 5? Yes, it's true. This young squad has been quietly improving each and every year, and they could be ready to break through this season. Teams not in my top 5, but could be throughout the season are Aberdeen Central, Watertown, Huron, and Mitchell. Stay right here. We still have 5 classes of football to go through, plus a look at the top players in each of those classes. Welcome back to our high school football preview show. We're going to look at 11A now. The Madison Bulldogs stormed through a very competitive class last year. They went unbeaten, winning their 4th state championship. All of those titles were won under head coach Max Hodgen. He stepped down. Joe Bundy will take over with 4 starters back on offense and 5 on defense. Despite winning it all last year, I have a different team at the top of my rankings, the Canton Seahawks, who have one of the best defenses in the state.
Canton has 7 starters back from a very good team last year, but injuries caught up with the Seahawks in the playoffs. Despite those solid players at the top of their roster, Coach Rich Lundstrom is going to dig deep for more depth on the team.
You know, we got to find some dudes to fill some open spots, and hopefully they gel quickly, because there's a lot of green guys that are going to have to see the field this year.
The senior leaders for the Seahawks think the team chemistry will help them achieve their goals.
I feel like we have a lot of guys that are coming in new positions that are willing to work hard and put in a lot of effort and be explosive.
It's doing good. We got a lot of new kids in here, new faces. They're doing good.
We have a lot of chemistry. A lot of the guys are very in tune with each other. We've been friends for a long time, and that shows on the field. Able to give each other constructive criticism and just make each other better.
Coming in at number 2, West Central has 7 offensive and 8 defensive starters back as they try to take that next step this season. At 3, Del Rapids. They've got a good base of players, including All-Stater Braden Pankinen at running back. Number 4, Vermilion will regroup with Ty Hertz at quarterback and Zone Robinson, who is a proven playmaker. And in at number 5, Lennox could be that team that goes under the radar. Braden Wolf is back at quarterback, and their defense should be stout this year. Millbank, Dakota Valley, Madison, Sioux Falls Christian, and Beersford will all be respected and could work their way up the ranks as the season goes. In Class 11B, the last 3 seasons, it has been Bridgewater, Emory-Eaton, and Winter in the championship game. These 2 programs have been strong for a long time. They once again lead the way. However, I think the competition gets even tougher this year as we move toward the top. Winter brings back award winners in their backfield with Riley Orrell and Aiden Barfus, but the strength has always been on their line and on defense. That's what makes them so good. BEE earned just a 7th seed in the playoffs, but found their way back to the Dome. We might see a similar path this year as they plug in several new players to their machine. Riley Endress, Sutton Aaron, and the rest will guide the Seahawks near the top once again. EPJ has one of the best backfields in the state, with Lucas Heiser and Ben Swatek teaming up once again. Plus, they've got Noah McDermott back at quarterback. Ron Colley has been improving the last few years, but they could take a big leap this year behind All-Stater Jackson Isaacson and a solid group of veterans. St. Thomas More took a step back last year, but they've got the tools to get right back into contention this year with Matt Larson, Easton Ogle, and Lee Negebauer. Check out my blog for a full list of contenders in this class. Go to midcosports.com. Coming up next, a look at all 3 9-man classes. There were a lot of teams that shuffled to new classes in 9-man football. We'll get you ready for which teams are where and who will compete for a championship right after this. Thanks for watching Midco Sports and our high school preview night. We continue our South Dakota high school football preview show with a look at the 3 9-man classes in South Dakota. They've been shuffled around this year. There's a 1-year reclassification, and one of the 3 state champs moved to a new class. That's the Howard Tigers, and they come in at number 1 in 9AA after a title in 9A last season.
Coach Pat Rummel has already moved past last year's state title and is ready for a new group to go out and make a name for themselves.
Again, like I've told everybody, our goals usually don't change year to year. We graduate some guys, but we have some guys that really want to wait. You know, they've been waiting their turn, and they really want to get in there and play. So,
we didn't lose much. I mean, we lost 5 seniors, but 3 starting. I mean, good guys. They were all staters and big shoes to fill, but I believe we got the guys to do that.
It means the same as always. You know, just because we won a championship doesn't mean we're not going to work as hard as we have in the past.
It might be surprising to hear that several players think they're ahead of where they were a year ago.
We're doing a lot better than we were last year at the start of football, yeah. We brought a lot of the same guys back, and I think with that, we understand what we're doing. We were able to play better as a team.
This run-heavy team might have a little more balance with Tate Hoyer settling in at quarterback.
Yeah, passing's a huge deal because everyone expects us to be a run game. Sneak in a pass, touchdown.
I really had a game plan to throw more in it, but it's game to game, I guess. But it's nice to know that we can if we have to.
At number 2, Hanson made a run last year, and they bring back 3 All-State players to try to make another run to the Dome. Wall has been on a steady march to the top, but they've yet to break through. This season, Coach Lex Heathershaw has one of the most talented group of skill players and some nasty boys up front to try to change that. Bonham was hit by injuries and inexperience over the last couple of seasons, but they look like they're back and ready to compete with some of the top teams this season. Don't forget about Platte Geddes. They won back-to-back titles. They'll take a step back after losing such a solid team and such good senior class, but they've got plenty of players back to try to stay in contention. Let's move to Class 9A. Canastota no longer co-ops with Freeman, and they move back a class to 9A, but they're still solid with 6 starters back, including a quarterback that they believe in.
In terms of players, quarterback Tate Ortman's coming into his junior year now after having a season under his belt, and our run deep through the playoffs got him a lot of experience.
I just think we just got to have some new guys step up. Will Ortman, he tore his ACL last year in the Dome. We're going to be out. He's not going to be on the team for like 6 weeks, then he'll be back.
Probably, most importantly, have fun and get that Corn Belt Conference and maybe get that state championship.
These guys got something to prove. A lot of guys were playing full time, on that team last year, and it was bittersweet, to lose by a score. And so having to step up this year and find some things and get some guys that are working and ready to go.
Gregory has the tools to get back to state title contention. They bring back 9 offensive starters this season and should be able to hit the ground running. Wolsey Wessington has a few holes to fill, but watch out for their up-and-coming talent like Moshe Richmond and Keegan Hayter. They are ready to take over. Warner doesn't like the way last season ended. They have good depth, and they've got Hunter Kramer. Harding County Bison loves the depth that they have this year, and they also have a healthy Kelby and Keegan Het to lead the way. Let's take a look at Class 9B. It could be the most competitive season in a long time. Several elite teams moved to this class to try to knock off the defending champs, St. Mary.
The Cardinals have about 5 starters back from last year and will look to all-staters Gabriel Lindemann and Nick Gaspar to lead the way.
Gabriel and Nick both have really worked hard this summer, and they've gotten bigger and stronger and faster, and I'm real excited to see what they can do this year.
St. Mary knows they need to be playing their best ball at the end of the season, which they proved last year.
I think we've got a lot of speed, and I think probably our biggest strength is our kids have worked real hard together in the off season and know each other and are used to each other, and I think they've got a pretty good cohesive bond there.
Harriet Selby area has been close the last few seasons. This year, they're replacing some major parts that helped them get to the Dome last year, but they've got hope that it could be another great year this season.
Harriet Selby area brings back one of the top running backs in the state and one of the better quarterbacks in the area. But they'll need to find some big guys to fill in for some big seniors that graduated.
What's been nice is they set the bar really high. They learned the process from guys before them. They carried the tradition on. They've passed the torch to these 2 young men.
We're definitely going to be missing our seniors from last year. They were a big role and they helped us a lot. But it's nice to see the younger guys stepping up and putting in the work and getting ready to get some playing time this year.
We had a good group of seniors last year that kind of led the way. It was kind of my job just to be the guy in the huddle, but this year it's been a little bit different just because, off the field, it's kind of off the field I get a little more responsibility, get a little more position or a leadership role. So
on the field, the Wolverines will stay tough as they try to work in some new names to some big roles.
And our coaches in the last year or two have done a great job of getting that 9th grader developed and coached and in the weight room. And so there's names that nobody's ever heard of that are going to be in a Wolverine uniform this fall. And people are going to be wondering, who's this kid, who's this kid, who's this kid? Our motto is reset, refocus, and reload. And so we're reloading those 4 guys to fill the spots of the 4 guys that we just lost.
The rest of Class 9B is loaded with DeSmet, Avon, and Hitchcock-Tulare, who are all eyeing a deep playoff run.
This high school preview show on Midco Sports is presented by Avera Orthopedics, Modern Woodman of America, Austin Van Hove, North Dakota State College of Science, Outlaw Tarp Repair, and Tammy Lap Harris with Integra Realty Group.
Thanks for joining us for another high school preview night here on Midco Sports. One more segment. We told you about all the teams. Now let's tell you about all the players to watch in high school football in South Dakota. Here are our preseason Midco Sports Players of the Year. Starting in 9B, Brendan Begeman ran for over 1,700 yards last year and 24 touchdowns. He's got 24 career picks on defense as well. Carson Kerwan of Castlewood had 1,400 yards rushing, and he missed 2 games. In 9AA, Walls Cedar Amiot, a 1,200-yard rusher with 17 touchdowns and a ton of versatility. In Class 11B, Riley Oral of Winter. He was the 2020 Joe Robbie winner and last year a first-team All-Stater for one of the best teams in the state. Avery Herding of Canton. He set a school record for sacks in his sophomore year. In 11AA, Pierce Lincoln Keenholds. He's going to be playing on Saturdays in Washington next year, and at the end of this season, should be the record holder at a school with a ton of great talent. Talon Ashley of Jefferson. He threw for 1,800 yards, ran for 416 yards as a junior, and that was without any seniors on his offensive line last year. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the field.